The franchise tag window officially open, meaning teams across the league have to decide what to do with crucial players who may want bigger deals. Dan Graziano here to tell you everything you need to know about the upcoming free agent running backs. Let's start with Saquon Barkley, Graz.
Saquon Barkley franchised last year for about $10 million, so it would cost the Giants about $12 million if they wanted to do it again. That is possible, but it's starting to feel like it's not likely, and the Giants and Saquon have not been able to come to an agreement on a long-term contract, so it's entirely possible at this point that Saquon hits the free agent market if they can't come to a deal. Possible they use a franchise tag on him, but not likely. Derrick Henry of the Titans, the remaining 2 years of his contract voided on Monday, so he will be a free agent as well. Prohibitive to tag him, almost $20 million. So obviously the Titans aren't going to be doing that. Derrick Henry, I was at the last game he played for the Titans in Nashville this year. It certainly seemed like he was saying goodbye to the fans there. Derrick Henry looking for a new home on that free agent running back market. And then Josh Jacobs of the Raiders. Remember, unlike Saquon, Jacobs held out through training camp, and the Raiders gave him an extra nearly $2 million when he came back. That means his franchise tag would be over $14 million if the Raiders wanted to do it again. And I know this starts to sound like a theme here, but that is more money than teams want to pay running backs, which makes it very likely that if they can't get a deal done with Josh Jacobs, that he does hit the free agent market as well. So these running backs all kind of singing the same tune. People don't want to franchise them at those numbers because they feel like they don't have to.
Yeah, remember that running backs conference that was happening over Zoom in the offseason? I wonder if that happens again. That's also March 13th that those guys become free agents. Franchise tag value for running backs expected to be around $11.3 million, which would be viewed as a hefty price tag for a position that seems to have been devalued in recent years, like Graz was just saying. Drafting a running back would be a cheaper option, but this class doesn't appear to have any elite prospects at the position yet. In Phil Yates' first mock draft, he didn't have any running backs going in the first round. Lewis, how do you see teams valuing the free agent running back market this offseason?
It's basic economics, Laura, right? It's supply versus demand. There's plenty of supply of veteran running backs out there right now that you just don't need to go above $10 million a year on in the open market. And I just don't see that happening. And then number two, there's just been too much of a history of being able to get winning, competent level production at a far less price. And that is, with contracts that are far less cap prohibitive. Unless, of course, you find that outlier, that guy who you feel as though brings a special skill set, a special contribution to your locker room and to the culture of your organization that you're willing to go ahead and pay up for. There's too much of a history that says it's just not in the best interest of NFL franchises to go ahead and overpay. And I don't see why this year would be any different. I really don't. As much as we all love Saquon Barkley, the person, as much as we all love Derrick Henry, the player, as much as we all love DeAndre Swift and some of the things he did in Philadelphia, I just don't see the market playing out that way because there's nothing to move general managers away from employing that kind of methodology.
Right. The two-time defending Super Bowl champions have been using a guy they took in the 7th round last year at running back, and it's worked out fine for them. That's the issue. Laura, you say Field doesn't have any running backs in his first round of his mock draft. It's not because there aren't any that are good enough to go. It's because teams know they don't have to take them there. Yeah. They can find that production later in the draft, and that expands out to the free agent market, and that's why these guys aren't getting what they want. Lewis's point about the outlier. If there's a team out there that says, oh, Derrick Henry is exactly the kind of back we need to get us over the hump. Oh, Saquon Barkley can be so many different things in our offense. Kind of the way the Panthers and then the 49ers did with Christian McCaffrey once upon a time. Then I think you might see one of these guys get a nice contract. But that's what it's going to take. Because if teams are just looking at the running back market and do we sign one, they're going to be bargain hunting.
Yeah, and we all know Christian McCaffrey's skill set is so rare. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs would be somebody that you point to in the draft saying that worked out well for Detroit. Boog, you think any of these veteran backs, though, are worthy of a big new deal?
Yeah, Laura, I do. I think Saquon Barkley is a little bit different. Now, he's not like Bijan Robinson or Christian McCaffrey, but I just think when you look at Saquon Barkley, how explosive he is, he's 27 years old, had almost 1,000 yards last year, 41 catches is the thing that jumped out to me. I think he can be used more in the passing game, and if you can do that, then you can get the type of production that justifies giving him a deal that could warrant somewhere in the $12 to $13 million a year range. I think he deserves it. I think he's shown how explosive he is, especially when you put him in the right system. Could you imagine Saquon Barkley running the football, catching the football in Baltimore? Not that I've heard anything, but just imagine Saquon in Baltimore. I think a team that's going to be able to use him and take advantage of his skill set is somebody that's worthy of paying Saquon a little bit more than what we think these running backs are worth.
That Ravens offense with Lamar, that's pretty amazing, especially considering we all know one of the reasons why people were frustrated with their exit of the playoffs was not running the football enough.